We've come a long way, baby, but we're finally there. This is week number 3 of the Paladins Challenger Circuit for the European region. My name is Vox, joined by I Hold Shift, and we are into the grand finals between BasicM, your juggernaut supreme, and QAZWSX, the feisty challenger. On the left-hand side of your screen, fighting out of the blue corner, on the scoreboard, we will have BasicM and strutzle up in the skies on Dragos, NTBees 2 on Androxus, TheScorpYoN playing Ying, BOZEY on Barrack, and robotoxin rocking some Canessa play here.
Yes, indeed, and I love when you call me baby. But on the right side, it'll be QAZ, Cassie playing Love, or Love playing Cassie, rather. xiuu playing Fernando, Muminn on Makoa, Kamal on Grok, and Freddy on the Buck. Canessa's interesting on this tight little map here. We'll see how this goes.
You got some long lines of sight where you can take advantage of Canessa, but you got to watch out for the backline dive. That's exactly what's coming out. xiuu being poked off very low, though. Freddy picks up strutzle for first blood. Got to watch out. The Lord of the Skies, Drogos, does get shut down by Buck remarkably well, but the Scorpion takes out Freddy in response. BOZEY trying to contest the objective is 1 versus 4 right now, getting focused down, but nobody's killing the turrets, so BOZEY is staying alive, very fit, very healthy. Here comes Canessa. It's just dropping so much damage towards the objective. The shield's going down quickly. Strutzle returning to the fray, and this is the retake coming through from BasicM.
Yeah, but a good disengage for QAZ, understanding that they're about to get pushed off, and instead of letting the point go because of deaths, you just let it go because you're getting outzoned from cooldown. So an opportunity again to re-engage, not losing much at all. Only 12% to BasicM, and QAZ taking the early advantage. Now at 80% plus, looking for the first point possibly to go their favor.
You gotta respect the Buck stomp. They're going home with a concussion. You need to take a trip to the hospital because your head is ringing, your ears are ringing, your head is shaking, your eyes. I don't know where we're going with this one, but you gotta watch out for the Buck Goomba stomps because they just deal a little bit too much damage to deal with, especially if you are Drogos or Canessa. First objective going through to QAZWSX.
Very good, Vox, very good. So the point will be, like I said, controlled. And BOZEY actually in a really interesting spot here, actually falling very, very low. Dragon Punch will be channeled, though, looking for the Makoa. Will find the conversion kill there. So a double kill for strutzle, one off of the direct hit, and then the other off the Dragon Punch, and now a reinitiation of zoning control in favor of BasicM. But very interestingly enough, they were not able to secure that first point really at all. They only got 12% capture there, and they only forced the issue once, in which that 12% was actually accumulated. So not a very good showing for initial neutral point fight so far for BasicM. As now it is BOZEY being hooked. He will have the rocket boots out. He will be able to drop a barricade to keep him out safely. Robotoxin for the backside, able to find Love, and NTBees on the Andro able to find a second kill. So numbers now advantage of BasicM. They will take full advantage of that as they are able to find a third kill. Now a fourth as Robotoxin gets the Grok in the butt with that snipe. All control as the payload washes right back to where it started.
It's returning to base. They're saying VCB. No, that's viral now, isn't it, in the champion circuit? But hey, let's take a look at BOZEY's positioning. We're seeing a bit of an advance round the corner. Up and over goes Buck. No, that's Makoa returning to the fray. Now up and over goes Buck. Dives straight into the front line. I love the grouping, the positioning coming out of QAZ, though. They're all hiding behind Fernando's shield, taking use of, making use of that advantage, the displacement, but up in the air. Bees with the accursed dome, dropping a fair bit of damage. xiuu trying to chase down Canessa on the backside. Love cleans up too with a double kill. Looking to find the triple kill. BOZEY solo taken out by Kamal. The payload will push forwards, but there's a long way to go. Buck wildies by Freddy. A little bit of a questionable use of the ultimate there, but should secure the double kill. And with 30 seconds left on the clock, the payload will advance completely unhindered for the next few seconds.
Oh, a lot of surprise here for me right now. I'm kind of raising an eyebrow. BasicM not looking like their usual form. QAZ has improved from last week to this week, but man, they're looking very dominant right now. The ability for them to collapse on neutral space has been great. The Ancient Rage will be used in the back line, able to get a couple pulls and a couple little damage-dealing bursts done here, and clean up from both the Cassie and the Fernando. What a great fireball to convert that kill right there in NTBees, and nobody's here to contest this. This is 2-0 now in favor of QAZ.
I think this was very unexpected. This is BasicM's map pick, and they're just being dominated. It's like a bulldozer pushing down through the objective, an unstoppable payload right there. And with a 2-0 or a 0-2 score deficit, with BasicM now on the back foot, can they rally together in time, get their wreckers online, and respond to the backline pressure coming out from Buck? We're seeing the Havens picked up for the healer for the front line, which is good. Wrecker 2 come out on 2 different champions, but is it enough? We're currently 2 down down. If another conversion rolls through, that's GG for game 1 Shift. It's really coming down to the wire.
Yeah, it absolutely is, and this is something that, you know, if you're BasicM, you can't get too worried about. There's still plenty of time left in this game to make your impact felt, but so far, based on what we've seen, there's just not a lot of cohesive play here. BOZEY's trying to do what he can to get in there, but there's not enough frontline presence to match up with what they're facing up against so far.
Well, there may be now as all of a sudden Fernando forced out, brought very low. BOZEY again pressuring out. Oh, Muminn taken down. BOZEY had already brought him to half HP with a shotgun, but still they're cleared up. And speaking of shotguns, Freddy this time just not able to make things work just yet. Dives in on Kinessa, takes way too much damage, forced out. BOZEY getting credit for the kill on a Freddy, and now it's all about BasicM as TheScorpYoN on Ying is trying to solo a Fernando. What are you doing there? Dimensional Link gets them out there still alive.
That's what he's doing there. He says, why not? I got an illusion somewhere back there. Able to understand that and, you know, commit, and then obviously dimensional link to your furthest illusion away. Easy collapse back towards this team. Here's another good hook, though. Robotoxin pulled into the danger, but a flame turret coming down with the combination of the opposite side for the Tempest and the Immortal will actually heal people up with a little bit of burst heal. Now the Buck coming to the back line. NTBees with the double kill on the Andro, though. And this is going to be a flip-flop, as it's going to be all BasicM here cleaning up on the engage after the Tempest and the Dome Shield able to combine themselves to bring out enough sustain on the point. Good capture there for BasicM.
I love it, dude. Let's talk about ultimate trigger discipline from NTBees to the Accursed Arm. Sees the Tempest roll through, goes up and out of the area of effects of it, and then holds Accursed Arm until the Dome Shield goes down, cracking Makoa in the head straight to the face with one of those 1,000 damage shots. So a strong frontline defense will make it difficult for the payload to be pushed through. strutzle pulled into danger, has to disengage. Freddy on the backside being brought very low, but Heroic Leap will take them back to the rest of their team and safety with the healing totem to heal everybody up very, very quickly. Still a lot of poke coming out of BasicM so far. Up and over again. Freddy trying to put pressure on the backline. Beast forced out very low. Nether steps away to safety for the time being. Somebody's got to punish the Buck. Otherwise, it is just going to be this repeated dominating performance from them.
Yeah, and Cassie cleaning up a triple on the backline, looking for the Quadra on the Drogos. It will not happen as NTBees is able to come around the tree and actually convert that kill, but it was dangerous for a second. And I was really nervous for QAZ for a minute there because they were really committing to over-aggressing there, and it could have been very dangerous. They may have lost out on more than I thought they did, and luckily Cassie able to get a lot of damage done to convert some of those kills, making it a very favorable dive.
Now another fire spit after the first big one there, followed up, goes straight into a Dome Shield. Again, Freddy on Buck needs to be shut down, but nobody's able to do so. And now xiuu leading the charge. Hold that thought. Buck wild up and over, straight into the backline. Freddy takes out Bees. Freddy with a double kill takes out strutzle, but there's the combo kill. The trade right there with that rocket projectile is enough to wipe out the big meaty man. TheScorpYoN, nice dimensional link, keeps them safe. No, actually was shut down by Cassie before they could get out. I didn't even see that happening. Whilst BOZEY has taken out Fernando, there's just too much damage for them to deal with. This payload push is going nowhere. I don't know how BasicM are going to come back from just the amount of deficit they're in right now in the hole.
Yeah, this is just game 1 of this grand final. If this keeps panning out like this, we might see it go all the way to 5, as this has been great defensive showings from both teams after the fact of having great capture points from both teams. So it's very close at the moment. Really kind of a tilt here between both teams, not really able to find who's actually in control of this game quite yet. It's just a lot of back and forth as the timer gets to just below 10 seconds now. It's going to be interesting to see how much the BasicM wants to commit to this payload push as we near overtime.
Look at Freddy's positioning. It's all about the Freddy and Love show for QAZ right now. And Freddy, amidst 3 players jumping back in onto Androxus, is loving himself a little bit right there. And in comes Love, cleans up NTBees. Now BOZEY behind a barricade is going to be poked out. And one by one, BasicM's starting to fall. Fire Spit misses as well. Huge misplay from strutzle. That could have been enormous, knocking players all off the map. Red team defends successfully. BasicM, they've only got 1 point on the scoreboard. And QAZ look to close things out with the next objective capture.
Yeah, it's definitely not quite over yet, but the fact that they were able to get a payload push on their first capture is so huge. And 3-1 is a very devastating scoreline as far as you're looking at it from BasicM's standpoint, because obviously it means that not only do they have to cap here, but it would be even better better if they could get a payload push. Not exactly showing signs of promise, though, after that last one. It didn't really get all that close, and that came at the back end again of a really good re-engage and overextension kind of dive for QAZ. I shouldn't have used the word overextension because it wasn't an overextension. They went together as a team and were able to capitalize and make them punish on the timer.
If it's Buck with a 4-second cooldown on Heroic Leap, are they ever overextended? Possibly,
Never.
But not very often. Let's see. Scout activated by Love immediately. BOZEY trying to get the high ground pressure. Oh, nice pull, though. Drop in the air, though. Watch out for Bees from behind with the accursed arm. Finds absolutely nobody. Now finds Love as well. The Scorpion takes out Kamal. This is huge. Intro range being forced by Muminn. BOZEY in a lot of trouble. No, excuse me. Bees in a lot of trouble as well as they're forced away from Muminn, who has to disengage. Scorpion again. This Ying is slaying, takes out xiuu, and BasicM have the capture advantage. But what's this? Where's Freddy behind everybody on the objective? Kinessa's down, and the deep up and over, and straight back in. Buck Wild activated for the damage buff right there. A Tempest comes through, and calling down the lightning is Grok, keeping everybody alive, but still nobody goes down for either team, and that's 2 ultimates burned by QAZ. Finally, Love picks BOZEY, but Bees picks Kamal. No more sustain on this side, and now they're chasing after Love. Love so low. Gonna see Bees forced into reversal, able to nether step to safety. The Scorpion will clean things up, and even though BasicM, they're on the back foot being pressured out by Muminn in the shield and xiuu on Fernando, they still hold a player advantage. Strutzle takes down Muminn, and this is looking good for the boys in blue.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure why Makoa and Fernando thought it was okay to push that far there by themselves, facing into 3 major damage dealers with the support of a Ying. That's never going to go well, so BasicM should have this after the overtime ticks down. This will be another point for them, and again, they need to make sure they're trying to get a better payload push here, because if they can even this out to 3-on-3, as far as the point total goes, they're going to be in a really good position to close this out, as their neutral point fighting has been so much better than the first time around lately.
Well, initially we're seeing Freddy poked out by a nice fire spit from Strutzle. Up in the air is NTBees. Can they find a kill with the accursed arm? No, but the Dragon Punch certainly can. xiuu taken out of the issue so far, and now the front line presses forwards. Bees with a double kill, trying to find the triple kill. Oh, Love barely surviving. No, taken down. Nice triple for Androxus, slaying not just everybody in the skies from the air, but also taking out players on the ground. The payload push will begin to keep advancing here. There's nobody to meet it, but we're still waiting on a respawn from BOZEY, which means that there is no frontline presence for BasicM, so they are at a bit of a disadvantage here.
Yeah, you can't get pulled right now if you're BasicM. You need to make sure that this Buck who just dove in is getting focused. Not the case, because Fernando is there to help out and put some damage down as well. And just lack of focus right now for BasicM as they're starting to fall all over the map. NTBees is still alive, at least for the meantime. Does actually fall, though, to Muminn again, playing that Makoa. And this is just not the BasicM we've seen lately. And I don't know how much of this has to do with the fact that there's a Kinessa on the board, and that's not giving them the ability to fight 5v5 as they usually like to. But this double take plus the Grok right now is looking a little bit more presence-friendly for the side of QAZ.
Well, it's going to be a dangerous look, and Kinessa unable to really be a part of these fights. Look how far back robotoxin is right now. But let's focus on the objective brawl going on. Fire Spit's not connecting from Strutzle. They got to find some damage there, and Kinessa unable to make an impact into double shield is having a really, really hard time. Ying ultimate comes out. The Scorpion keeping players alive as Freddy dives back to the backline. Should get punished for it, but able to heroic leap away. No! Taken out by Strutzle right there. And now BOZEY chasing down Grok. Looks to make things happening. They're going for the game-making play. Kamal picked up 4 players down. Only xiuu left alive on Fernando. Can the respawns come through in time in order to make a defense here shift, or will this be conversion?
Losing to Fernando there is going to be big. They will have a chance to engage here if they decide to commit there, which they should, but no one's going to get there in time, it looks like. Oh, finally, it will be Cassie dodge rolling in, but it took a lot of damage. Strutzle is going to punish so severely as the dodge roll and the leap came in right on top of the point and was met immediately with a Spitfire. So now 3-3, favor of BasicM, and I think momentum also rings out to that same stat line. BasicM is favored here, has to be.
Well, they certainly are. Let's look at the itemization. You're fighting into a double shield comp. What do you want? Wrecker 3 on Androxus, Wrecker 3 on Drogos. So much damage. 150% damage coming out of that Drogos with their just default rockets. If they charge a salvo, it's 200% damage on every single rocket. And whilst that's less overall from a full clip, it's a ridiculous amount of burst. That'll wipe out a Makoa shield in an instant. It'll almost take out Fernando's. You gotta be careful when you're dealing with Strutzle.
Yeah, you absolutely have to be careful when you're dealing with strutzle. He's proved that time and time again as far as being able to punish teams for getting a little too aggressive when they shouldn't be. Right now, though, it will be straight into the fray, all of the takes, and it will be met by a dome shield and a flame turret from the barrack, and then the accursed arm in the back line will actually not convert any kills, but get a lot of damage done, and this Makoa's in a lot of trouble, and this is the BasicM we're used to seeing as far as being able to combine their abilities and combine their different strengths and characters. They have xiuu all the way back to his spawn, and the point is going to be probably up to at least over 60% by the time it's in the contestation again.
It is at 48 points and climbing right now. Red team approaching. They're all dismounted. They're moving very slowly. They got to close the gap. It's going to come from a shell spin. Ancient Rage used by Makoa on the objective. There's a Dragon Punch to counter, but there's also an Immortal to counter. Nice disengage from strutzle, buying time. Can they do the loop-de-loop in enough time? They do. They take out xiuu on the objective. That Tempest won't save you from the Dragon's Fury right there. And even though Kamal on Grok is dishing out so much damage, BOZEY takes out one. strutzle takes out Freddy as well. The Scorpion looking for the slay on the Muminn as well as strutzle lands down, dropping the air raid onto the objective, dropping the air raid onto Makoa through the shield. Bees cleans up Kamal, and this is all BasicM's game.
It absolutely is. xiuu is going to try to contest this, but he's walking into all 5 players with illusions and turrets set up, and we've seen time and time again how dangerous that is. Team is trying to help him, but there's just not enough presence there. They may have had a chance if they were all 5 there, but again, one by one they fall, and one by one they see their defeat time and time again. This is going to go to BasicM. Game 1, map 1, headed in favor of the blue team.
That is textbook EU Conga right there. But hey, your QAZ, what can you do?
Something. Yeah.
Right. Like, we can either sit here and just listen to the B for BM if that comes out, or we can just like run at the objective and maybe try and get a kill. Because if anything, that's just going to pad our ego. But let's take a look at the stats. And one thing I'm noticing is a lot of consistency across the board, at least in credit scores. The lowest player on both teams being robotoxin or Canasta, which is expected because their objective time is so low. But across the board, we're within 300, 400 of everybody involved, with the exception of BOZEY sitting there as the barrack frontline, 43 and 9 eliminations to deaths, and 282 seconds spent playing that objective.
And again, the big numbers here, as you look at again, I'm just so infatuated with the solo kills caption. Only 1 solo kill for BOZEY and 1 kill for Scorpion. That's the only solo kills. That means every other kill was participated, every character on the map. The one thing that you also need to take a look at is the fact that robotoxin has 0 solo kills, which is not a number you want to see from a Canessa. You want to see that number at least 5, 6 plus, simply because they're able to get damage done on the squishies. But again, going up in a small map against 2 front lines that have shields, very dangerous to do, and I think they pretty much used robotoxin there near the end with the strong record pickups to just kind of start focusing down that 1800 plus percentage damage on top of those shields. So that's pretty big, and I think that was a little bit of a crutch for BasicM in the early parts of the rounds, but as again the items got utilized more, robotoxin's damage I think really was felt on those shields later.
And there you have it, folks. This is the difference in composition, between your snowball comp, which again often features Buck, and then your more sustained. We're gonna go for the late game and the itemization comp. We're gonna be the point killers, the shield killers, and it just worked out for BasicM. You know, it was. If that second objective capture hadn't been in favor of BasicM, if that had gone all the way through to QAZ, I think they would have been able to snowball all the way through. I don't think the BasicM would have been able to put up a fight.
Yeah. I think so too, and that was just something that, again, the lack of experience from QAZ is, or I keep saying Z, they definitely are showing that they are still recent with this lineup. We haven't seen Freddy in the past, and he's actually bringing a lot to the table as far as a strength for this team, but they still have a lot to figure out as far as how to finalize and finish off either full team wipe situations or getting those last potential capture points or those last potential couple inches or feet as they move the payload into that final position. But still, promising things from QAZ. They're putting up more of a fight than they did last week. Let's see if they can make adjustments in Game 2, Game 3, and possibly Game 4 or 5.
Of course, this is the grand finals of week 3 of your European Challenger circuit, and thus it is a best of 5. Now, we're currently in our champion picking phase, but shift the next map up. We're looking at Ice Mines. We saw a stylish Canessa pick come out on Frog Isle in the Temple Isle theme. Are you expecting to see that again?
I can't see a reason why. but at the same point, I can't really see a reason why not. I think it could go either way, and it's going to come down to what the teams decide to build around that Knessa. That time through, you know, it really does say a lot when you have a Ying that can be paired up with your Knessa, because again, that illusion could just be set right next to whoever's playing your Knessa and be able to provide some healing throughout her scoped time. But that being said, it could be a situation where, you know, if BasicM is looking at a Knessa, they might not see that they had enough of an impact from the Knessa and might opt for something different.
So let's talk about the map dynamic which Ice Mines brings to the table. You got some long lines of sites, but you also got a very condensed objective fight with a lot of corridors, a lot of caves, a lot of buildings to kind of force your way through. So when you're picking your ideal team composition, what are the qualities of the champions that you're really looking for?
Well, the one thing we always talk about when it comes to anything Glacial Keep as far as the maps go is that everything from the control point through the payload route is very, very long. It's a long pathway, it's very open, and at the same time, the spot from where you initially spawn to the very end checkpoint that you're pushing is a very extreme distance, so you want to try to find characters that can sustain long fights, or on the flip side, at least a couple of combination of characters that can burst out and get team wipe potential very quickly. The last thing you need is to have a team that kind of crutches itself by not having good healing or not having good sustained damage. And if you get on the bad side of positioning, you could be looking at a very long uphill battle.
Well, speaking of sustain, the picks have come all the way through shift. We are into QAZWSX's map pick of choice, which was, of course, Ice Mines. And they get first pick, unsurprisingly, Fernando immediately off the board.
Yeah, Fernando first picked is not really anything that we're surprised by. On the flip side of things, BasicM is able to take off the Drogos and the Makoa. Then rounding out the team for BasicM, we'll have a Barrack, Ying, and then the Bomb King is the kind of crazy last pick there for a minute. And on the flip side, for QAZ, they will have that first pick Fernando along with an Androxus, Cassie, Grok, and Buck. So something very similar for them. Instead of having double tank this time through, they will sub out the Makoa for the Androxus this time. So more damage this time for QAZ.
And they still got love on Cassie, but it didn't work out too well in the last game. I don't know, this is interesting to me. You got Drogos and Ice Mines where the AoE damage is huge. You got Bomb King on Ice Mines where the AoE damage is huge, but you got a lot of backline dive in the presence of Buck. It is just, I don't know. It's going to be difficult. It's going to be a difficult brawl coming out right now. But as we are loading into the game and we have just broken down your champion drafting, we've got a 3-minute spectator delay ahead of us. So let's cut to a break whilst we wait for that to cut down. Please sit back, relax, and enjoy the music as we get into game number 2 of this best of 5 grand final set between BasicM and QAZWSX on Ice Mines. And welcome back, champions of the realm, to game number 2 of your grand finals of this 3rd week of the European Challenger Circuit. My name is Vox, joined by Vox, because I Hold Shift unfortunately has had to disappear, so I'll be taking this thing solo from here on out. And let's break down the teams. Why, thank you, Vox. Let's go ahead and check out QAZWSX fighting out of the blue corner on the left-hand side of your scoreboard today. We'll be leading the charge with Muminn on Buck, Love on Cassie, Kamal on Grok, xiuu on Fernando, and Freddy closing things out as Androxus. But their opponents, you know them, you love them. It's BasicM, the man with a plan, TheScorpYoN on Ying, NTBees on Makoa, strutzle on Drogos, BOZEY on Barrack, and robotoxin pulling out the spicy pick of Bomb King, immediately picking up a wrecker there, and Freddy respecting that damage, going into blast shields. It's Ice Mines, initial point fight breaks out. You're going to see BOZEY setting up their barricade with Barrack turrets behind them, dropping damage into the shield, and no flank play really coming out of this Buck so far as everybody is so well grouped up. Strutzle throwing out mad fire spits, drops a lot of damage up and over, though robotoxin takes out xiuu. BOZEY under fire, but the nice rocket boost getaway puts Muminn in a bad place. Double kill for robotoxin. Love cleans up on the backside though, takes out BOZEY. Now Freddy trying to find damage onto somebody is a bit out of place. They're on the objective, but they're surely going to be dredge anchored into doom very shortly. NTBees shuts them down, and that will be BasicM holding things down for the time being as the capture racks up for the team in red. And you can see the respawns coming through. I love that QAZ are approaching this cautiously. They're being very slow. Watch out, though. Robotoxin in a lot of trouble. Nice disengage with Poppy Bomb. The Grumpy Bomb stunned too. Robotoxin safe around the corner. And now strutzle free to throw out fire spits onto the objective is pulled xiuu. The barricade, their shield already going down. But strutzle is getting collapsed upon, thrust up into the air. It doesn't matter. Freddy is there with a follow-up. And now Muminn on the backside puts the pressure on the buck. But Robotoxin turns up the heat. This Bomb King must be respected, providing zone pressure with Grumpy Bomb so they can retreat to safety. They're going to come back around the corner and support NTBees, who is fleeing for their life, becoming turtle soup on Makoa. Freddy, though, with a double kill, takes out the Scorpion, takes out Ying, not far enough around the corner, tries to find the triple onto Robotoxin, but no, strutzle comes to the rescue, and BasicM, they have the retake opportunity here, but it is 80 points for them, and 70 points, now 80 in climbing for the blue team. Neck and neck on the objective. Love takes out Robotoxin, cracking this one wide open. BOZEY cannot juke enough. The fire spit is good, but it's not enough to buy some time. Robotoxin, you gotta get back here. We need your Grumpy Bomb stuns, but they're still too far away. On the objective for the time being is NTBees trying to find the damage, but as Muminn takes out Scorpion, it's a bad look for the red team. Strutzle, though, takes out xiuu on Fernando, and there is contest opportunity, but with Bees going down to the double kill from Muminn, Buck goes buck wild and shuts down the opposition. Last second Grumpy Bomb stun, not enough. Kamal takes him out onto the objective in Ghostwalk, but BOZEY's back again. This overtime is lasting forever. He's dipping in, he's dipping out, but he is finally shut down with Freddy left his own. That's the end of that. QAZ for the second game in a row. Take your first objective and start barreling down towards conversion. And so we are starting to see this payload move further forwards. BasicM all poked out low. Muminn tries to capitalize. Buckwild activated. One kill on the Scorpion. Now finding damage. Strutzle very low. Has to run away to the skies. Muminn so low. Taken out by Robotoxin as well. Not respecting the damage from Bomb King for the second time this game so far. And speaking of Bomb King, it's going to be Kamal fleeing from all of that sticky bomb damage up into the air though. Watch out for Freddy. It's the accursed arm. Finds strutzle. No! Strutzle finds them as well. The double kill going back and forth right there. They're pushing back and forth, and the kills are flying both way. There are so many trades. You'd think we're on a TF2 trade server right here, but there aren't hats for sale. It's bloody murder. Robotoxin going on a rampage as Bomb King right now, and the respawns will be a while coming through. Blue team, they're regrouping. They're being led by Love, who is scouting out the objective. They're being very cautious, not wanting to be caught by a dredge anchor from NTBees, who is slightly overextended. Shell spin to safety, but jumping in is Buck once again. Muminn putting the pressure on, but finds only shields in their wake, and now dredged into danger is one shot away from death. Scorpion getting credit for that. Nice Grumpy Bomb stun. Dredge anchor pulling them straight into danger there, and all of a sudden with strutzle getting double kill, this is BasicM putting up a great defense. Counter to what we saw for the first objective of last game, not letting the snowball composition of their opponents get out of hand. 47 seconds left on the payload push so far, and it's looking like this one is going nowhere. Xiuu meets a fire spit. Fire spit meets Xiuu. Muminn meet King Bomb, or meet the Bomb King at least, as they are healed up, jumping in, recovery active, but it's not enough to keep them healthy. One hit from death. They've got to be very careful of that Grumpy Bomb stun. Not quite enough for the kill though. Love going on a tear on the backside right now. Pulls two. Got to watch out for all of that direct rocket hit damage, and is hiding around the corner from the fire spit as well. The payload pushing forwards. Nice fire spit from strutzle, takes out Love, and now BasicM on the defense rally together once again. Love won't be able to rejoin the fight with the respawns being so far away, and BasicM cleaning up 4 total. BOZEY getting a double kill. That's enough for the defense, and BasicM will equalize the scoreboard 1-1. And now let's check out the scoreboard, see the itemization coming through. A lot of Havens going for QAZ, but does that matter so much when you got to deal with the big blast AoE damage coming out of Bomb King and Drogos? On the other side, once again though, Havens for everybody. They say there's too much direct damage coming out of this team. They've got no AoE. Let's just mitigate that. So Haven 2s for 4 players. Only Robotoxin on Bomb King electing to go into Rakatu, so double damage on those sticky bombs so far, and they're going to be racking up a lot of damage against xiuu's shield. But that's the only one they have to deal with so far. BasicM looking good for point capture this time. QAZ have to put up the good fight and get some backline picks if they want to run away with this one, and currently they're really starting to struggle with that. As we approach the objective, BasicM taking a bit of a different angle this time, going up onto the high grounds. Dragon Punch being charged, should bait out an Immortal, but it's really early from xiuu once again. Back in comes strutzle, trying to find the damage. Finds xiuu after the Immortal runs out. That's why you don't pop it so early. strutzle with the double kill so far, cleans things up as Freddy goes down as well. Kamal locks in place, has nowhere to run. Can strutzle find the shot through the window? Cassie dodge rolls for their life. The fire spit is good. strutzle punished for the overextension, and Love does survive, but BasicM on the objective. 60 points and climbing so far. xiuu makes their way back in. Bees, you gotta find the Dredge Anchor onto Buck maybe as they're trying to put pressure on a Ying. Time to take charge, and here comes the King Mum ultimate as well. Double ultimate. Robotoxin slays one. Robotoxin slays two. Looking for a third one as in Tempest. Kamal is just so vulnerable. They get out of danger, but into danger is Love pulled to their death. Robotoxin with a delayed triple kill cleans things up, and that will be BasicM going for gold, going for capture. 1 point to QAZ, 2 now to BasicM as they start pushing their payload towards QAZ's base. And as we are seeing the Grumpy Bomb go out for a stun, xiuu charges straight into that. It's a bad look for the Fernando. The shield is crumbling now. Nice AoE damage. Oh my god, pulled out the shield. No, that was Buck collected right there. Going fishing is NTBees, and now up on the high ground looking to pull maybe Freddy out of a reversal if they overextend, but it will be Muminn once again. The Buck up and down, straight from danger into danger, shut down by robotoxin. xiuu trying to do their best to contest, but they just can't find any purchases. The accursed arm is completely countered out by a fantastic shield from NTBees. Whilst the wind is now out of BasicM's sails, it's certainly out of BOZEY, and BOZEY is pushing further forwards. Freddy, one shot from death, is taken out by the shotgun, and even though we're seeing a bit of a chase around between the supports on the backline play, Ying will come out on top. Kamal goes down, and still BOZEY leads the charge. Gonna be backing off from the respawns now, has to regroup with the rest of the team, but it's a really good look for BasicM. Grumpy Bomb's being used as own. Nothing really being picked up so far. Freddy trying to find a little bit of poke on the high ground is going to take a fire spit to the face. It is from the peripheral of the AoE, so it's not too much damage, but Freddy is overextended right now. Fire spit damage going to be avoided, but dredged in. That's going to reset the Nethercept cooldown. Scorpion picks up Freddy and drops his underestimation of that Dredge Anchor pull. And now 5 players versus 4. BasicM look to push their way in. Love punishes strutzle though. That's an overextension from the Dragon. And now from behind comes Muminn. Buck goes in. Don't they have Buck Wild? They don't, and they can't deal with the turrets. Neither can Love, as Love goes down to the Scorpion. That should be Muminn going down as well, but they do manage to jump to safety. One more shot, and they'll be out for the count. That will be the save with recovery. Time to take charge once again as the Scorpion pulls things back in with their illusory rift, keeping everybody alive as BOZEY slays Muminn. It's a good look once again for BasicM, pushing further and further forwards. The kills keep on coming through. There will be no stabilization play so far as NTBees, now the tanky Makoa, leads the charge with that Dredge Anchor, looking for players to slay. Got to be very careful here. Nice disengage with the shell spin. Bees still safe, and Muminn can't quite find the kill as they are now full HP, out of combat, healed up with their veteran itemization. We are now in overtime, but there's a Dragon Punch coming through. Immortal this time straight into xiuu. Goes the Dragon Punch. Immortal saving. Nice Tempest comes to the heal, but it's a bait by NTBees. You dare challenge Makoa, he says, and he starts cleaving away with that Dredge Anchor. Love so low, nobody's focusing them down, and it looks like Bees use that ultimate all for naught, as that will be a successful defense on the back of a great set of ultimates and a fantastic Immortal from QAZWSX. So let's go ahead and take a look at the scoreboard once again. Kamal, Grok sitting on the only Haven 3 on their team so far. Very tanky, 30% damage reduction from direct shots, but still just as vulnerable as they would ever be to strutzle and robotoxin. The Scorpion sitting on Haven 3, a great look for a Ying who's going to be prioritized as such an important target to take down. And despite there being so much healing coming from either team, only 3 cauterizers across the board. It's all up in the air right now, that's all I can say. But looking at the ultimate charges, we're sitting on Buck Wild, we're sitting on Scout, we're sitting on the Lockdown, and we're sitting on King Bomb. If I was going to give it to anybody, it's got to be King Bomb. But maybe if Scout can be used to spot that coming through, there can be an appropriate disengage out of the blue team. Gotta be careful with your positioning here. Right on the edge, though. Watch out for that poppy bomb play. Xiuu inside the dome shield is very vulnerable. But so far, it's 3 kills in favor of QAZ. Can the lower seed team do it? Yes, they can, as Love picks up 2. Love picks up 3, and on the back of a nice Cassie triple kill, they take the advantage. But we've seen this kind of play before. Sometimes it's an ultimate bait from the team with the ultimate advantage, looking to get rid of any potential comeback from the defending team, going for the retake instead. But with only King Bomb up, they're putting so much faith in robotoxin. Can BasicM do it? They're being zoned heavily, but there's nobody on the objective. There's only 1 player on there so far. They've been wasting so much time. The King Bomb's coming in. Will it do enough? I don't think it can. Robotoxin trying to go for Fernando. They find the double stun. That's a great pull onto Xiuu, but Xiuu will have the shield up again very shortly. As long as they stay alive, it'll all be good. Force into Immortal, but let's check out the status of Dragon Punch. Strutzle only sitting at 37% charge, does not have that available. And now back comes Love. Love's got to find the shots onto the Bomb King. They got to find the shots on the Barrack. They're so low. The dodge rolls are good, but the healing from Ying is better, and BOZEY comes out on top of that one. This is BasicM's retake, and at this point, BasicM's point to lose. We are seeing briefly on the objective Kamal ghost walking around, but they're only feeding into BasicM's more right now, as the unstoppable Juggernaut Giant cannot be shut down. Strutzle on Drogo's on an absolute rampage. 13-8 right now, is just eating up all the kills on this greedy Drake. As the payload push begins for the second time for BasicM, they're only 1 point in the advantage, but they have conversion potential and game win potential. It's up to QAZ to put up the good fight and do the backline disruption. That's exactly what we're seeing Xiuu do, but they're isolated and alone behind their shield. Grok has to get in there and place down a healing totem, otherwise they are gonna be smoked. But Robotoxin takes down Muminn. That's 1 down already. Strutzle takes out Xiuu as well, and now with 3 players grouped up, subject to the massive AoE burst coming out of BasicM, there is nowhere they can run. There is nothing they can do. That will be Kamal going down to Robotoxin again, and somebody stop this Bomb King, as he is making everybody his subjects. And speaking of Bomb King, Robotoxin sitting on 15, 6, and 9 so far. So many kills, not respecting the Haven, because hey, you need blast shields to deal with me. There's a King Bomb coming in, combined with Dragon Punch, looking for love. Robotoxin takes him out, but it's a trade kill. But on the backside, Kamal eliminated by Strutzle, and now Xiuu taking the rain of fire from the fire spit. The double cooldown reset from Masterful is good so far. Xiuu on the objective, ultimately just melted so quickly. Muminn taken down by NTBees off the back of a great dredge anchor, and as the payload pushes towards conversion, this is do or die for QAZ in game number 2 of this best of 5 set. Down goes the lockdown for BOZEY. It's up to just the Grok to contest with Ghostwalk. The respawn from Xiuu is good. The lockdown has evaporated, but now comes NTBees with the Ancient Rage. Now comes the Tempest as well, trying to keep the blue team alive, but nobody's checking Robotoxin on Bomb King. They have to deal with him because the AoE damage from those bombs is just too much to deal with. The payload has been stalled out, but Bees cleans up Freddy. Xiuu very low, taken down by somebody. It's gonna be the Scorpion right there, and it will all be down to Love as Cassie try to keep themselves mobile with dodge roll. They do buy time for the respawn from Grok to come through. Ghostwalk buying precious seconds. Can anybody get there? And it will be the respawns in time. We got Buck back on the objective. Buck Wild being activated. Is this the defense to end all defenses? No, it's not. Netta stepping away from the objective. That will be the payload push all the way through. And BasicM, they take game number 2. Well, I was going to say let's look at the scoreboard, but it's fairly self-explanatory right here. BasicM, they got the kills they needed to. They were on an early deficit, but as soon as the Wrecker 2 came online for Bomb King, it was just absolutely their game. And I'm surprised by QAZ. They're a second seed team coming into this tournament, and they did a very good job. They put up a very good fight. But they had to deal with the area damage coming from Strutzle with the fire spits and rockets alike, and Robotoxin's sticky bombs, Robotoxin's king bombs, and there was only 1 blast shields. And I do wonder if blast shields have been picked up by Muminn, if blast shields has been picked up by more players than just Freddy on the side of QAZ, would this game have come out differently? But either way, that will close out game number 2 of this best of 5 set in the grand finals. Of course, the next map draft up and available is still, we're still waiting for that to come through, so we'll leave the scoreboard up on screen in the meantime, but that is the pick of the loser of Game 2. Now, if we think about what QAZ has favored before, I would be very surprised if we didn't see, let's see, we're looking for a Temple Isle themed map. I doubt it's going to be Frog Isle. They had a bad time on there on Game 1. They've done pretty well on Jaguar Falls, though, but at the same time, that's one of BasicM's favorites. So who do you play it into? Do you go with the comfort pick of Jaguar Falls with the risk that it's the enemy's comfort pick too, or do you sit back and go, well, maybe we'll throw Serpent Beach in there and try and go for the more spread out fights instead of just the absolute cluster of destruction on Jaguar Falls? That draft should be coming through shortly. In the meantime, I'll see if I can bring you an update on the bronze match. It does appear that we do have one game completed between Grover Street and ABCD Esports so far. If we take a look at the brackets, actually no, both games completed. It will be ABCD Esports coming out on top of that, and they take your bronze place today. In the top 3, we've got 2 alphabet teams, and I'm so excited. ABCD Esports, a bit of a Cinderella story here. 6th seed coming into this tournament, making it all the way through, beating out the 3rd seed of Legion of Domination and making it into bronze. What a great showing for ABCD. Because we are waiting on those results to come through from the map draft, we're going to cut to a short break. But in the meantime, sit back, relax, enjoy the music, and we will be back with game number 3 of this best of 5 grand final set before you know it. Guys, for the delay, but we are now into game number 3 of BasicM versus QAZWSX. The reigning champion so far in this Challenger Circuit. BasicM are looking to defend their title with 2 maps to their name. It will be the loser of Game 2's pick for the next map coming up, and that will be Serpent Beach, as you can see on your screen. Let's transition through on our pick screen as I will break down the draft for you before we actually get into our game during spectator delay. Of course, my name is Vox, joined by, well, none other than myself, Vox, me, myself, and my ego. And a big shout out to Dave and Kenneth, Only Light and Phasian, behind the scenes, running the camera and broadcast from Paladins World. Now, if we take a look at the draft, you can see on your screen, it is slightly out of order based on party order. But we can see that BasicM being first pick, led with Fernando. A neutral pick, it's relatively expected. Countered by QAZ, taking Drogos and Androxus here, so no more aerial shutdown, but still having the Dragon Punch available. The response from BasicM, they take away Cassie Ying, closing out with Victor and Pip as well. So Fernando, Cassie Ying, Victor, and Pip being the lineup for BasicM, whereas we do see Makoa, Barrack, and Buck locked in as the last 3 picks for QAZ. Still running with this Buck pick, despite no success so far. Looking to capitalize potentially with no Dragon Punch available, or not having to fight Buck into Barrack, which is a notoriously difficult matchup. If we examine the map Serpent Beach, we can potentially look at the team with more aerial control and gap closers gaining a bit of an advantage here, as you do have to close some long lines of sight where Cassie and Victor will really start to come into play. You have Drogos for the aerial assault, Androxus with triple natastep, Makoa shell spin, Barrack just sits around and does Barrack things. But let's talk about Buck as well, the re-engage from Heroic Leap. Counter to that, it really all rests currently on Strutzle's shoulders as Pip sitting with that Master's Border in the loading screen, a very experienced player to utilize Evil Mojo, but to potentially take the wind fully out of the sails of QAZ, as they will undoubtedly be aggressive in their initial plays. I would like to see BasicM respond by bending, not breaking, as we have discussed in previous tournaments, in previous casts, and giving way. They have a double healer team comp, which they can use to support themselves, keep them nice and healthy, and maybe then look for some return kills. One player that I'm interested to see, however, is going to be Love playing Androxus, not Cassie this time. But as we load into game, we're going to go back to the break screen for just 1 minute, folks, whilst we do all get synced up with our cameramen and casters for today, and then we'll be back into game number 3 of BasicM versus QAZWSX. Welcome back, champions of the realm, into game number 3 of this best-of-5 grand final set between the reigning juggernaut champion BasicM and the challengers of QAZWSX. My name is Vox, and let's break down the teams ahead of us. Still on the left-hand side of your screen, fighting out of the blue corner, it will be BasicM, but their lineup is not that basic today. They have strutzle on Pip, NTBees on Fernando. I expect to see the 360 fireballs bees. I am counting on you. TheScorpYoN on Ying, BOZEY on Victor, and robotoxin, toxin on Cassie. Their counterparts QAZ will be led by Love on Androxus. Super excited to see how they perform. Muminn on Drogos, xiuu on Makoa this time as Fernando has been taken away, Kamal on Buck, and Freddy on Barak. And the one thing that I didn't talk about is that there is no support on the side of QAZ. They're going all out aggression, folks. Let's see if it pays off. And initially with the Scorpion of all people picking up first blood onto xiuu, I don't think it's going their way. Up in the air, we are seeing Drogos put out some pressure onto the enemies, but it's not quite enough. Barak forced out of the positioning around the turrets, so they no longer have that healing station healing, and they're being battered around the map. Forced up into the air by robotoxin, disengaged. 2 kills, 3 kills, 4 kills, BOZEY with the double so far, and now with a respawn coming back in from xiuu, that will be capture control of the objective going over to your boys in blue, BasicM. We're starting to see some respawns come through. Freddy making their way towards the objective, but it's difficult to actually advance as Barak. It's much easier to hold your ground and look for a defense. They're going to have to work in with the capitalization off of potentially this aggressive play from xiuu. Misses the Dredge Anchor and is punished for it. Seriously, Muminn does take out robotoxin, but it doesn't matter. The Scorpion playing carrying with 2 kills to their name so far, with only 2 minutes on the clock right now. And a strutzle outplays Kamal on Buck. The Pip comes out up top. We're seeing 86 points, 89 points, and climbing on the objective capture. No time to get back in there. It's going to be the defensive play from Freddy. They place down a turret and then retreat round a corner. So potentially, they can sit behind their barricade and look to stop this payload push in its tracks. The salvo runs down. This is something which we've seen Muminn utilize previously. I am not a big fan of salvo. Personally, it doesn't do a great deal of damage. It is a great burst tool if used appropriately, but ultimately, you're often best, unless you're aiming at shield where it does 50% bonus damage, better focusing on individual rocket shots. Dragon Punch comes in, it finds an illusion. Oh my god, the Scorpion, do you just do that? Dragon Punch completely cancelled out right there. And with NTBees on a bit of a rampage right now, just shutting down players left and right, burning them alive. Robotoxin with a double kill as well. Nobody can stop this payload push. Freddy retreating. Robotoxin dodge rolls forwards. The bonus damage proccing. They pick up yet another kill. And the payload advances unhindered right now. Somebody has got to get in its way, but NTBees diving backline is a force to be reckoned with. Strutzle's Pip provides a great deal of distraction and weightless. Nobody can kill them. Finally taken down, but now it's Bees. Again, burning people to a crisp. 1 kill to their name as Muminn goes down, forced behind their shield very low. Illusions keeping them alive for the time being, as we have Freddy on Barak trying to make the defensive play, but they're not getting anywhere. Back at full HP, Bees is frying right now. Buck the meaty man is shut down, and Androxus just goes away. The push rolls through uncontested. They're scared right now. QAZ, they were rolling so hard in the first couple of games on those first objectives, but now it's BasicM out to play. They have their boots on, they're made for walking, and they are walking straight down the path to victory. Let's take a look at our scoreboard, and I love the itemization prioritization coming out of BasicM as they go into 5 havens across the board. Already at Haven 2 for everybody, 20% damage mitigation from all direct attacks. So it now falls onto Muminn on QAZ to play up, but they're sitting at 1-5-1. They've only got 1 kill, they've only got 1 assist, 2 eliminations total to 5 deaths is just not good enough, because they're the only player who won't have their damage reduced so far by all of those Haven pickups. Now there is triple morale boost coming out for QAZ. If they can get their ultimate coordination going, they have the potential to run away with this game, but it comes down to whether they can or whether they can't. And we do see Love up top with the accursed arm, fires 4 shots, doesn't get a single kill. NTBees has already cleaned up Muminn, and now this is looking bad for QAZ as the double polymorph comes through. It's fried chicken time, and robotoxin skewering them alive on kebabs is looking to make a delicious dinner. Freddy, no, Love around the backside also eliminated, and that is the full team-wide BasicM coming out on top once again on this, now sitting at over 40 points and climbing on the objective. Come on, NTBees, I'm waiting on you. Where's the 360 fireball? But it will instead be a shield for the time being. Dragon Punch coming through, though. B sitting on the Immortal, waits until the last second. Lockdown comes down from Barak, but the Dragon Punch mitigated by the Immortal there. In fact, no shots do connect. Robotoxin cleans up Kamal, and whilst BasicM, they're forced to hide behind the shield, and Muminn does take out Robotoxin. They're still coming out on top. You dare challenge Makoa, straight into the backline, looking to shut down the Scorpion as xiuu. They get that all-important kill into Ying, and now it's all QAZ. They hold the ball in their court. They have the advantage, but nobody can get onto the objective until strutzle is dealt with. NTBees still remaining alive. This Fernando has not died once so far, and now they charge into the objective with 68 points for the blue team, 96 for red, and this has to go as NTBees get shut down. Only one way. It's got to be the damage players playing right back up again. It's overtime on the objective. QAZ, they're so close. It's still overtime, but they're getting plowed one by one down into the ground. Turned over. The fire spit damage not enough to turn things around, and whilst Freddy is fighting a point fight far away from the objective, it looks like BasicM are once again in control. Bees back on the objective, this time immovable. The unstoppable object, the Dragon Punch coming in. It's 99 neck and neck, finds nobody. It finds the illusion. Strutzle shuts down Drogos, and this is all BasicM now. Up and down is Kamal, but he's losing HP like... I don't know, actually. That's an analogy I hadn't thought out ahead of time. But he's lost all of his HP and gets sent straight back to base. BasicM, 3 points up, going for the 4-0 sweep in Game 3. This is all they need to not just secure their win, but also secure their place in the gauntlet, as there will be no Challenger Circuit team that can take that spot away from them now. Once again, Bees leading the charge. Fries Kamal alive. The accursed arm comes down, though. A massive payoff for Love as they take out 2 players, but that's only gonna stem the bleeding. They should have picked up Cauterize because they are hemorrhaging right now. QAZ have got to make the turnaround play here. It will come from Love as they try and run down strutzle, but strutzle is actually holding the advantage with BOZEY pressuring them out on Victor. BOZEY now hustling away to safety, running away from the salvo coming in from Muminn, but NTBees is back in the fray. And once again, this is just a dangerous look for the defending team. They keep on getting chipped down. Most importantly, they don't have a support on their side. Their composition is not based around sustain. It's based around base roll. And without a support, oh my god, hold that door, 3-man polymorph. That's the cleanup coming through for BasicM with the back of Strutzle's Evil Mojo ultimate capitalization. They've taken out 3 so far. They're going to take out Love as well for the 4-player wipe. And Muminn, the last one alive, is forced straight back in the base for the time being, as there is nowhere that they can run to from BasicM. Dredgenka gonna miss. This is it. This is do or die. It's all or nothing, but the barrage comes through. xiuu takes 1 shot so low on the objective. Needs to activate Ancient Rage, but they don't have it available. Lockdown on the objective. Now comes out from Barak, trying to make a stand, but NTBees doesn't care. He's in the back line frying. Robotoxin picks up yet another kill, and whilst Love is causing the stabilization play, somebody has to deal with this Cassie player. His Carry Toxin is going off on 1. NTBees takes out Kamal as well. The respawn's coming back through for the double frontline combination so far. Robotoxin forced to disengage for the time being. Dragon Punch charge. Dragon Punch coming in. Immortal use. Robotoxin staying alive. The Dragon Punch will find absolutely nobody. In fact, it finds an illusion as well. And even though we have the Ancient Rage on the objective, BasicM are somehow still in this fight. Shut down Robotoxin, please, but he's out of the issue. Can Love find the kill? 1 shot, 2 shot. Robotoxin getting the jukes, getting the outplay. Can the Cassie come out on top? No, they're sent back to base. And with 5 seconds left on the clock, that could be the stabilization play they were looking for. But NTBees is still here. The Scorpion is still here. Fernando, Ying, it's a death ball combination. Strutzle in the issue as well. It's double healer, and the 0 healer team composition just cannot contest. BOZEY being dived on by Kamal, though, should get shut down. Nice headshot damage coming out of the Buck player. But now they're being run down by Pip. Robotoxin back in the issue. Takes out Muminn. Freddy as well. Very low. Disengage potential. Dodge roll from Robotoxin. Back away from all of that incoming damage from Love. Love up in the air with the accursed arm. Will they find the kill? They take out Robotoxin, but that's only 1 that goes down. They need more than that as Strutzle takes out Freddy as well. Pushing towards conversion. Somebody get there in time. It's going to be the Buck player, but they did this before. And the polymorph comes through. 1 chicken, 2 chicken, double kill for the Scorpion, and that is BasicM taking your 3-game set in a full-on sweep versus their opponents of QAZWSX for the win. And that's GG. That is GG. BasicM. They sit at the top of your standings. 3 first place wins, granting them a total of 300 points. And now they have made it. This is not just about the Challenger Circuit, folks, and the $5,000 prize pool for each region in the Challenger Circuit. This is about the Gauntlet opportunity. And with BasicM, a collection of veteran players that rallied together, grouped up, formed a new team after many, many disbanded, including teams like Tilted, X-Paradigm, who were on track to be the number 3 team in Europe. They have rallied strong and show that they are ready to take on the Giants as a juggernaut team of their own in the Challenger Circuit in the Gauntlet, which will be coming up in week 5 of this circuit competition. I don't believe it. Let's take a look at the scoreboard and actually break down some stats. And what stands out to me, it's the man with the plan, NTBees, sitting at 39 eliminations, leading the charge, and only 2 deaths. Somebody stop this man. He is absolutely unkillable. Well, mostly, for the most part. 2 deaths. But still, the double support combination worked out, the 0 support combination didn't, and I did not see enough cauterizes coming out of QAZ during that game to make up for all of the healing being output by the side of BasicM. I mean, they only picked up, what is that, 19,000, 54,000 from Pip and Ying combined. That's not a great deal in a 10. Well, it's a 10-minute game, but sometimes we see Ying doing that by herself. But still, that's far more than it should have been. And ultimately, it wasn't just that was not respected. It was the polymorphs from strutzle. Yeah, gotta deal with the Pip. It's just far too effective right now. You think Maldamba is scary? Wait until you only have 1,500 HP and you are helpless to defend. And closing out a game with an evil mojo, there's no better way to do it. But either way, folks, this closes things out for not just the final set, but the final play. Lost in thought right there. Okay, it's the final set, and that's all we have time for this week, folks. So, with that all said and done, we're going to go ahead and get ready to host the Champions Circuit going on right now on twitch.tv/Paladins game. But in the meantime, we do want to thank you all for not just turning up and watching, but participating to all of our participating teams and all the support which you have given Paladins World across the last 3 weeks. Week number 4 coming up next week, but don't forget about the North American competition tomorrow. I cannot wait to see what goes on after the massive upset, which specifically Fabri brought in, beating out the number 1 and 2 seeded teams from the first week of competition with their full roster back in full force, and it's going to be super heated. But from myself, Dave, and Kenneth behind the scenes, we've been Paladins World, and we bid you good night.